What's up, guys? Welcome back to Kinda Funny's Batman in Review. That's right. We are ranking and reviewing every theatrically released Batman movie, including Catwoman. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by Andy Cortez.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at myself in frame at the beginning. So now let me just kind of make
Scooch over a little bit, man. Take your time. It's all good.
We got nowhere to be. We got nothing to do.
There you go.
We got the Commissioner, Greg Miller.
Get me, Batman. I don't know.
What's up? We have Kevin Coelho.
It's funny
Nick
you didn't do
Scarpino.
a Gordon. Oh, okay.
Hard pass.
You can't pause that long, Kevin.
Yeah.
I introduced you.
There's a delay, guys. There's a delay.
Something.
Right,
no one else has it. It's weird. It's really weird. Anyways, this is Batman in Review. You can watch live on twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, or you can watch later on youtube.com/kindafunny or roosterteeth.com. You can get the show ad-free by going to patreon.com/kindafunny, just like our Patreon producers, James Davis at James Davis Makes, Andrew Feisner, Jeremy, the Zook, Zuccarello, and the Simply Sassy crew. Thank you all for your support. Speaking of support, this episode is brought to you by HBO Max, Honey, and Manscaped, but we'll talk about that later. Real quick, some housekeeping for you. Andy, you want to pip out something? Maybe something you're doing on Twitch tomorrow?
Tomorrow, me and Nick playing that Black Ops Cold War at 11 a.m. after games daily. Right here. Right here in this place right here.
Right here in the place.
How many W's you going to get?
All of them.
Wow, everyone.
All the W's, man.
It's not a battle royale, so hopefully people.
Oh, so there's no winner. So there's no winners.
It's team. People.
No one wins.
Greg, I know you don't know what it's like to win as a team because you're always a fucking lone soldier, lone wolf.
He lone wolfs it.
Growing a mustache.
I'm a lone soldier.
Today, we are talking about the Lego Batman movie, released February 10th, 2017, directed by Chris McKay. He's best known for directing and editing 3 seasons of Robot Chicken, which makes a lot of sense for this, and 2 seasons of Moral Oral. Kev, you're a big Moral Oral fan, aren't you?
No, I'm not. No, I think your brother is. Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you loved it.
I've never seen Moral Oral.
That little religious kid. Yeah, I've seen Moral Oral is one of the many Adult Swim cartoons that you've seen one episode of and realized this isn't for me. And that was me pretty early on. I was like, nah, I get what they're going for. I'm good. I'm good.
We know what this is.
That sounds nasty. Oh wait, you know what?
Kevin just likes oral.
No, you know what? You're right. I do like this. The
Is it claymation?
Yeah, claymation show.
Oh, I hate claymation. It's terrifying.
Oh, I love claymation.
The
I
devil's
find it
work.
very, very
He
cool.
worked as an animation co-director on the Lego Movie in 2014 with Phil Lord and Christopher Miller. He made his feature film directorial debut with the Lego Batman Movie, and he is attached to direct a live-action Nightwing film.
Ooh.
See if that ever happens.
Yeah, it doesn't look great.
A budget of $80 million, box office of $312 million, runtime of 1 hour and 45 minutes. In terms of awards, not looking too good. Many people thought this would be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, but just like the original Lego Movie, it ended up being snubbed. That made people mad enough, but they were even madder when the film The Boss Baby was nominated, despite its heavily mixed to negative reception, falling short of this film's highly positive reception.
Classic.
No,
The Boss Baby.
The Boss Baby.
I'm
We're getting
hearing
echo
a bit
again,
of an
Kev.
echo, by the way. Yeah.
It sounds like
Tim's talking in a stadium.
I was gonna say Tim's like today.
lovely
I feel
voice.
like I'm the luckiest man in the world.
Anyway, boys, Lego Batman. I want to start with Greg Miller,
Hi.
because you didn't like this movie the first time you saw it in theaters.
Correct.
What are
Yeah,
your thoughts now?
I remember being next to Kevin and he fell asleep during it. I still don't like this movie. And it's that thing is like, I don't want to do a character thing. I don't want everybody coming after me. I don't want to get everybody on this show turned against me. Like, I'm glad you enjoy it if you do want, just in general, right? And I guess I've made that bet, right, Andy? What are you going to do when I knock at the door? You fucking piece of shit.
For sure.
Get
The
him.
wolf is at your door.
Yeah, I do not jive with this film at all from the get-go and from all the way through it. And it's like, I've been trying, obviously, knowing we would get to this point in the show and you would ask me what I thought of it at some point. Like, I've been thinking about like how to do it. And the best I can come up with is I just don't think it's not Lego enough and it's not Batman enough. I feel like the movie makes a lot of jokes at times, right? About like oh, it's just people cosplaying or whatever, right? Like that's what I feel like this is. I don't feel like this is a Batman movie. I feel like this is people, a whole bunch of celebrities, and like it feels exactly what it probably is, right? A bunch of celebrities got together with who are all friends and a bunch of their friends and wanted to make this Lego Batman movie. And I think at some point they were like, we don't have to go all the way in on it being Batman. Like we don't have to get nerdy about it. It can just be that it is all because obviously it's the Batman characters and it's Gotham City and like, you know, blah, blah, blah. But like I play it and or watch it, I should say. And I just feel like it's heartless. Like I just don't ever connect with it. It never gets into. I think the ending's cool. Like I like the ending of them all together and you know coming together. But again, it's like that's an hour and 45 minutes of me being like, all right, cool. Like I just feel like it's never pushed to the limits it could go to. I don't think that I don't think it's funny enough with the Batman Joker relationship. I don't think it's funny enough with the Alfred Bruce relationship. I don't think it's funny enough with the Robin Batman situation.
Nick,
That's interesting because, like, okay, so I did not like the Lego movie, and I think that it wasn't because of the story. I just was really off put by the frenetic pace and the style of it, and I just was like, I don't. This is not for me. I understand why people would like it, but it wasn't for me. So going into Lego Batman, I was very trepidatious the first time I watched it, and I feel like I watched it on a plane sitting next to Andy. I can't remember. Maybe that's not the same one, but like I just laughed my ass off through this whole movie. And I think the reasons why I liked it was all the reasons, Greg, you might not have liked it because it was lighthearted fare, because it did poke fun at the series. But I'll disagree with you on one point, which I do feel like it has a lot of heart. I think at the heart of this story is that it is like, you know, there is an inner need of this character to have a family again. And I think they did that very, very well. And they took that part at least quasi seriously so that at the end, when he does put the team all together, I found it pretty validating. And I'm just a sucker for Michael Cera. I'm just a sucker for him.
Michael Cera's great.
Nick,
Yeah.
give me it. Give me your favorite part.
He's like, can you be quiet? When I desire to be.
Kevin,
It's so funny.
Kev, what do you think?
Yeah, I fell asleep the first time I watched it. This time I stayed awake the entire time, but it just not for me. It's just honestly, my problem with it is it feels very much like a kids movie, and like too much like a kids movie, where they're going for all the dumb jokes, and it's just like, all right. I wish they had tried a little harder. There were some moments that they got me, but those were far and few
and
between.
far between.
Yeah, that's it.
I
You
just like
got
that
it.
everyone thinks Batman's an asshole in this. Like the Justice League parts. First off, shout out to Channing Tatum playing Superman in this. Come on, guys. Come on. Greg, if that didn't
I didn't
get
like
you,
that. I didn't like
If
that
that
at
didn't
all.
get
That
you-
bothered me quite a bit.
I'm blown away that anybody cannot like this movie. I think it's so
It's so
inoffensive. I think the humor works so much. Until you mentioned the part that Chris McKay worked on Robot Chicken, while watching it, I just kept thinking, man, this is a much better Robot Chicken. Like the Robot Chicken jokes never hit for me, but so many of these jokes
But the
work for me.
pacing of it too, right, Andy? Like the pacing of it is Robot Chicken. Where it's bam,
but
bam,
I
bam,
think-
bam.
I just think the humor here is just a lot more clever, and I think a lot of it has to do with the actors chosen. And I love all the breaking the fourth wall stuff. I love the quiet moments where you're meant to sit there with the awkward sort of loneliness of Batman in his house, microwaving lobster, and then typing in the 20 minutes, stupid. Like all those little moments like that. I love this movie. I think it's so clever and funny, and the actors chosen are fine. The only problem I have is I'm not 100% in on Michael Cera. I think he's great like 60% of the time, but I feel like he's the only issue I have with this movie.
He's so Michael Cera the entire time.
He's great.
See, I'm with you, Andy, that I do think when it is, we go through the entire opening, right, and all this crazy stuff, and then Batman comes home to be alone. I do love all that. I do love how they play with that and let that breathe. I feel like where the movie falters for me is similar to what Kevin was talking about, where I feel like it is, and this is obviously no fault of fuck me if this is what they designed for, but I'm here talking about it, right, and why I don't like it is I do think it's aimed at kids, which comes down to this weird repetition of jokes and things that I don't find interesting, like like Batman being this like nope, and throwing tantrums and rolling around the stairs and stuff. I'm like, for me, I roll my eyes at it. Like, I don't like that. And like, you're saying, or Nick, you said earlier, like maybe I didn't like it because it pokes fun at the source material or something. I wish they did more of that. I wish this was lampooning Batman, because when they go through and Alfred in the beginning's like, oh, I've seen you have a mode like this before in 2016, and they roll through every theatrical Batman and have a thing in there. It's like that I like a lot. I wish they were leaning into that, but I feel like they dialed it back to be more, what is Batman? What is something that even every loose, I'm using it loose, but every kid would know about Batman? Let's just use that and do stuff with it without ever really getting into it. And I think the Joker even complicates it more, where it'd be funnier if it was about him being super lonely. And I mean, obviously the Joker's gonna be the bad guy that motivates the whole thing, but give me more with him and Michael Cera and Alfred. And if not more, give me what you already have, but truncate it down. The fact that this is an hour and 45, like when it was going, I was like, oh shit, maybe I read this wrong and I'm enjoying it more. And I paused and it was like 30 minutes left in the movie. Like, oh, fucking, all right, let's go.
Man, I love this movie. And I think that from the get-go, it is fast paced and it keeps that pace up and I'm entertained the entire way. Like this movie is just pure style and it backs up that style with as much substance as it needs. Like I don't think this is a 10. I don't think that this kind of has like all the heart and all the stuff. It's like, but it doesn't need to, because it shoots for the moon, and I think it gets there more often than not. It is shotgun approach of jokes, and I think that more jokes land than don't by a large margin. And I think even the ones that I don't think are funny, it's like I'm sure someone else out there does think they're funny. I don't think that any of them truly are like, oh, fuck, this sucks. Like, I never cringed during this entire movie. Oof. And on top of that, I think the action scenes are fantastic. The style of the Lego movies is just so cool and unique and amazing. And I think that the Batman elements to it, like they really committed in a way that the opening scene is thrilling and so engaging, and the Lego-ness of it, like Greg was saying, that you don't think it commits enough to Batman or Lego. I think it committed to both perfectly, where it wasn't too far in either direction. It was enough to allow the two to work so that this is a Lego Batman movie, not needing to be one of the other two. Because what was it called? The Scuttler was dope as fuck.
Yeah,
like,
kind of cool.
That thing was cool, and the way that it moved and the way that it looked was awesome, and it felt authentic to this Batman character. And I love how meta this movie is, and I love that we just spent the last 8 weeks watching these Batman movies, and like it kind of feels like a reward for all that stuff. I agree with you, Greg. It doesn't go too deep with any of it, but I also don't think it needs to. Like, I think that it's kind of just. It's about references. It literally just is about like, oh yeah, I know that, and I know that, and I know that. But it's more than just Batman. It's also celebrities. It's also the history of all this stuff. It's also Legos in general. And I love that this movie ends with them going to the Phantom Zone and getting out all the bad guys from other franchises.
I love it.
This movie just escalates in a way that like surprised me as it went on, and I love that so much.
I mean, I'm a sucker for any time they're available to go deep into the Warner Brothers catalog, or a studio can do that. And the fact that they got like Voldemort and Sauron and all of these classic, all these characters. I thought it was fun. And again, Greg, I understand your criticism with it. It is lighthearted fare. This to me is a nice welcome, just break and silliness. And it's a fun, quick hour 45. Do I think it's anywhere near as good as Batman Begins or The Dark Knight? We'll have to decide at the end of this show. But
well, it's funny you say like they go deep enough in on Warner Brothers stuff, right? Because I didn't like that, and I thought they didn't go deep. Because when these people pop up, I'm like, oh, this is just literally the Lego Dimensions cast. Like I played through this in Lego Dimensions, even with the Doctor Who exterminates. Even though the Joker line of "Ask your nerd friends" is greght when they pop up. It's great,
but see, that's the thing, though. Is I think that joke is like that's the level that we're at with this, and like I think the movie commits to it because a lot of people didn't play Lego Dimensions. I don't know if you know.
No, I know that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the I don't think the bench is deep is what I'm driving at.
Well, the bench might not be too deep in general in Warner Brothers because I don't know how much of the comic book fair style stuff they've done before. But I mean, I think they made some. I mean, I think it struck a nice balance for me of we're making a kid's film. It is a kid's film, but there was enough for adults, or it was enough references that I got that I was like, oh, I should get this. I am a 40-year-old. I do remember watching the 66 Batman and seeing the shark repellent thing being a joke. And like, I don't know that kids would get the shark repellent joke, but they put that in there for us, for people who are like, yeah, what a useless thing. Oh, no, it's not useless. That it had kind of a fun payoff at the end. So yeah, I mean, I never looked at this movie as sort of being anything other than, okay, this would be entertaining to a certain level. But to me, it does cross that threshold from going from a kid's movie to being like, oh, this is actually, they're trying to tell a story with a little bit of heart here. You do have a character arc with Batman where he does kind of start off as an egotistical asshole, and then by the end of it learns something. And I think that's cool. And I don't think you see that a ton of times in even some of the more recent DC movies. So kudos to them for doing that.
You guys talking about the kids movie stuff. It's funny that you're saying it as a negative because watching this, I was like, I literally said to Gia, I'm like, if I was a little kid when this movie came out, this would be my favorite movie of all time. Like, it's
Absolutely.
so fucking cool and fun.
The fact
and
that
like,
he's in the '89 Batman costume the entire time makes me just automatically want to put this at number one.
yeah, it's just like the idea of there's nothing cooler than Legos, period. I think that this movie kind of fulfills that promise of just like so much shenanigans, so much happening, and especially when we get all the cameos of everyone else at the end. Or not even the end. It's like throughout the movie. It's really cool.
I mean, I feel like we keep on hitting this kid angle. I think this movie is. I don't know. The humor of it reminds me a lot of like a Will Ferrell movie, like that type of humor of just like the silly non sequitur stuff. I don't know. Watching this movie, I didn't think, oh, this is good for a movie that's mostly for kids. Like I think the humor still worked a lot for me. And I agree, Tim. I didn't really. There may have been one or two moments that I was like, that joke just didn't age well because of, because it's hitting on some sort of pop culture thing at that time, at that place in time or whatever. But
There's a lot
I
of
still
Michael
think
Jackson references in this.
Yeah,
This is very weird.
like, I mean, just sitting there watching Jerry Maguire, like all that stupid shit. It just, I think,
But
that
even
the,
that-
I think
even
the
at
humor is
that
a lot less for
moment-
kids than
Yeah.
than I was led on to believe.
I,
I think
uh,
it is a very, very
That's
very
fair.
adult type humor.
It's so interesting because like I was trying to like I was like, this is the only thing I'm gonna watch right now. I'm gonna just chill. It was after we played Fortnite. And then I got to the point where I was like, oh, you know what?
Played Fortnite last
I'm gonna turn on Assassin's Creed and not like listen to music, but like not have headphones on and just have it muted and run around and do a couple little things. Cause like so much of their jokes are just making me go like, that's the joke they went with, huh? I constantly had that feeling.
Yeah, I think it's just a tone issue where, like I think, and I may be getting you wrong, Tim, but I think you said, none of the jokes were cringeworthy or whatever. Like for me, it's the opposite. Like the opening of the movie is nails on a chalkboard of Batman narrating like black screen. I don't know what Rat Pack does. Yada. I'm like, okay, like this is a movie I am already not here to enjoy.
Bad take.
I get it. No, I get it. I mean, listen, like this is definitely. I mean, again, I have a lot of these criticisms. If we were doing the Lego movie, I'm sure I'd get torn apart from my views on that. I just did not like the style of that. And for me, and this one, you have to vibe with the style. For me, Will Arnett. And that black screen, that one moment, that first second you hear his voice, like, black screen, oh, great movie. Start with, I was like, all right, I'm in. This one got me. That got a chuckle out of me, and it put me in the right mindset to enjoy the sort of like surface level silliness of the jokes. And Greg, you brought up that part where he's throwing a temper tantrum and the animation where he's just flip.
Great
flip,
animation.
flip,
I mean, the
flip,
movie's
flip.
gorgeous. You can't.
That gets me every single time. And Andy, I thought about you because we talked about ray tracing a lot in our last stream, and I was like, wow, they got all this. Look at all the ray tracing that's happening.
Yeah, a lot of great shading, a lot of great.
They had a lot of
shadows and
RTX 3080s hooked up to make this all work.
And I will say, I thought of you a lot during this movie too, Nick, because I thought, man, Nick is loving every single part of this.
Every
so much of the
Every
humor,
second,
I could picture Nick like sitting in an airplane and just cracking up
Just
at the
laughing.
like it's dumb humor. A lot of it is very dumb
Yeah,
humor, but it still
totally.
works. Again, to Tim's point, way more than it doesn't for me. And I think like I just enjoyed myself a lot watching it again.
And Greg, what you're talking about, like with the intro stuff, it's like I see where you're coming from. Like I wouldn't say it's cringy, but I see where it's like it's kind of low hanging fruit. But I think that this movie does low hanging fruit very well the entire time. And like it has moments of like Team America World Police. It has moments of like Robot Chicken and all the things that I very much enjoy. And I don't think this movie does anything better than any of those best moments, but I think that it never, again, like I said, it never feels cringy. It's kind of like, okay, this is what this movie is. And if you kind of like enjoy it for that, it's really good. But it's like if you're like, oh, this is just the funniest movie ever. No, it's not. But I think that it is a very consistently funny movie, which for a comedy movie is really all you can ask for.
Greg, you're gonna tell me when they pulled the costumes out and he was like, "That's for reggae, man." You didn't laugh at that?
No, Nick, I didn't laugh at that.
Let's get to the plot.
Plot time.
I was gonna let him go.
this still the Batman film? Okay, yeah.
All right, so this is a Lego Batman movie, ladies and gentlemen. We already said, you open with Will Arnett's Batman narrating all the screens that pop up. From there, it's a rainy night in Gotham City, and there's this big old plane being flown by two best friends coming in, and it has all sorts of bombs and horrible things on it. And so they
MacGuffin Airlines.
Yeah, you like that? Yeah.
Like, that's great. I love that.
Great.
They radio the tower to see if it's okay for them to fly by, and the tower looks around and talks to everybody in the thing. Like, yeah, we don't see why not. Go for it. At the same time, a Joker goon helicopter lands on top of the airplane, and they bust in to get all the bombs and stuff. And so they start going in there and taking people out, yada, yada, yada. And then to the cockpit comes the Joker, and he's like, I'm here to take down the plane, and I'm going to, blow up Gotham City. And the pilot's like, but are you really? And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, Batman stops you. Batman's gonna stop you. He always stops you. And he starts making references to stuff like the Prince Parade and stuff. And you're like, we know that reference because we've been doing interview. However, then Joker boots him or whatever, takes over the thing. He's gonna blow up the thing. The city starts panicking. They reveal their plan is gonna go to the power plant, the hydrogen plant or whatever, and they're gonna put all the explosives on the side of that. They're gonna blow it sky high. All the villains are there. They're all doing shit. We got Two-Face, we got Clayface, we got through a whole list of people. And of course they get down to Condiment King, and he's like, "You're making some of these up." And he's like, "No, these are all real. Probably
It's
worth
great.
a Google."
I love that shit, man. It's so I love how deep they go with the bad guys and make fun of it. It's funny.
That's the first time I learned there was a polka dot man, actually.
Yeah, there you go. Of course, they're all freaking out because they want to know where Batman is. Batman isn't there. Commissioner Gordon's, he's flipping out. He's got his little signal button. It doesn't work though, right? And they're like, all right, cool, we're gonna do this. And he wants to see the mayor. Like, the mayor needs to go be a part of this. That's the thing. So the mayor goes over there, and there's still a Batman. Everybody's panicking, and the mayor goes in there, and the mayor takes off.
Who's the mayor? Who's the mayor voiced by?
Batman.
Well, it is Batman, but it's also Mariah Carey.
Gotcha.
It's true.
Really?
Yeah.
This is.
But,
I mean, outside of
why?
like Will Arnett and Michael Cera and Rosario Dawson, I guess this is, I think, the key. One of those like total. Wait, who is that? Like, I know I should know that person, but I don't know that person. Like, I had to look at IMDb. Oh, Channing Tatum. Okay.
All of the people are awesome. There's just like the voice cast of this is ridiculous.
Just all the friends that you could tell that
Kimmy Schmidt, I like
Miller
Phantom
putting in their. I know Lord and Miller didn't like fully direct this or write this or whatever, but it just feels like it's all their friends.
Yeah,
Oh, definitely.
Billy D. Williams is Two-Face.
Love it. That's great. So from there, though, the mayor reveals herself to be Batman. Batman starts kicking the shit out of everybody, as one does. The thing is going to blow up, but he's got to, deactivate it. But he's fighting everybody. He's running around doing stuff, and he's blowing things up, and things are going on. And then Joker tries to leave, and this is when Batman gets caught between him and the thing, and he's got the two grappling hooks. And this is where Joker lays out his plot line for the movie of being like, well, blah, 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 and your greatest enemy. And Batman is like, wait, what did you say? And he's like, oh, think about the bomb? He's like, no, the thing before that, this, that, and I'm your greatest enemy. He's like, you're not my greatest enemy. Who's your greatest enemy, right? And he's like, Superman. He keeps going back to Superman. But eventually he lays it out that he's fighting multiple people. He's not in an exclusive relationship fighting anybody. This breaks Joker's heart, of course. He gets the really sad, teary eyes, which is cute, of course, all the time.
Yeah, you don't matter. Nothing matters to me. I don't care about you. I don't whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keeps on like digging the knife deeper.
It's like working with Greg Miller.
Exactly. I could replace any one of you. You know what I mean? Like that. You tell me
So
in a
fast.
second. So fast, right there. Yeah, except probably Kevin. Somebody would need to learn a lot of stuff to make Kevin's shit
lot
work.
of
Yeah,
things.
that'd be a pain
I've
in
only
the ass.
taught Barrett
Yeah,
half
yeah.
the stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the smart. That's how you keep a job. I appreciate it. Batman lets go the Joker. He falls back down. Everybody's panicking outside of Gotham, or in Gotham, I should say, because they already had it on the news that if this was to blow, it would break Gotham in two parts and everybody would tumble into the endless abyss below them, right? Because they're playing with the idea, of course, that they are Legos being built on a playset. Very similar to Lego the movie, right? Where it was Will Ferrell's kid or whatever building the whole world, but we never get a real life thing here. Spoilers. So it should go off. It doesn't go off. What happened? It was Batman. Yay, Batman. Batman comes out and everybody's like, fucking Batman rules. And they've got Batmania signs and like, Batman's the best. Yeah, I love Batman. And Batman's like, I am the best.
The merch gun.
The merch guns.
The orphanage.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The orphanage.
So Batman gets ready to leave and he's like, let's swing by the orphanage, say hey to all these kids, give them something. Outside is a young Dick Grayson watching all this. They're waiting for Batman. Batman shoots over. The kids rush out. Everybody gets merch gunned except Dick Grayson. The news report happens again of wow, Batman saved the day once again. I'm sure he's going home to celebrate with his family or whatever. Instead, we get him going into the cave, this giant cave all by himself. Password for it, Iron Man sucks, which is a pretty great. That is a pretty great joke right there. But it's a complicated system for him to walk in there. He starts talking to Pewter, who's just Siri, of course, on an iPhone. Alfred's upstairs doing some cleaning. He left the lobster thermidor in the fridge for you. Oh, my favorite. And then we get the scene like Andy was talking about of, him first off, we get him putting on the smoking jacket robe, right? And then, going up there, getting the lobster thermidor, eating it all by himself in the water, surrounded by his bat boats, watching Jerry Maguire all by himself in his giant theater, and just being a sad boy because he's a sad Batman. But we don't, he doesn't even really know he's sad Batman to that point. At some point,
it's all the little stupid things. Again, the microwave thing is just like a dumb that I would have added if I were kind of making this. Yeah, like have him struggle with the microwave and then going to and hitting the wrong video source. Like, oh, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, that was good. A lot of PlayStation noises there too.
Yeah, which is weird.
I love that shit. Oh yeah, the
hey, for the kids,
yeah,
for the kids,
got the wrong thing. You're right.
Yeah. At some point, he goes back to the middle of Wayne Manor to look at his family portraits or whatever, and he's looking at the selfie he took with his mom and dad outside the Monarch right before they got murdered.
Guys, this movie's fucking funny, man.
And so while he's doing that, Alfred comes up behind him. He knocks down Alfred. Alfred gets back up, and he's like, "Oh, this is the joke I was talking about. Have we seen this before?" And he runs through the laundry list of the movies that he's been in and things there. And basically you need to open yourself up to loving again, kind of thing. And you open yourself up to having a family and all that jazz. Yeah, Nick.
Now, Alfred, of course, played by Ralph Fiennes in this, who also played Voldemort. And for some reason, they didn't get him to voice Voldemort in this movie.
Yeah,
more money.
I wonder if there's like a contractual thing.
I don't know. I always thought
it's
that.
both WBs, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that would have helped.
I would have thought they would have allowed him to go and do that. Maybe they just thought it'd be even funnier to have him not do that. But I swear, the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, it's so cool they got him to do both voices. And then I looked it up and no, it was Eddie Izzard that did both.
Oh,
wow.
Which is funny, yeah.
You're a funny guy.
So they have this conversation, and finally he's like, I'm going to bed. He's like, no, you're not. And he opens the thing, and it's light outside. And he's like, you got to go to this Commissioner Gordon's retirement party. And he's like, I don't want to. But he eventually goes. And so he gets into the car, and he's in his Bruce Wayne suit, but still in his Batman helmet. And eventually he Alfred convinces him to take off the Batman helmet. And then he shows up there, and he's being Bruce Wayne about it. And he's like, all right, paparazzi, you get 3 poses. And he does the 3 different poses. And then he goes on inside and starts mingling and mixing around. You know what I mean? Dick Grayson's there because the orphans are doing the choir business.
Dude, and it's hilarious. The fucking choir got me, man. It's just so funny. These orphans are funny.
And then you get the
line for the record, orphans usually are.
You get the line of, hey, I'm Richard Grayson, but the kids at school call me Dick. Well, kids can be
cruel.
That's, of course, after Dick Grayson sees Bruce Wayne, he runs over and introduces himself. They start talking. That's what's happening. Dick is laying out the plan to be adopted here by Bruce Wayne. Bruce starts off listening, but then gets distracted by the one and only Barbara Gordon showing up. He falls in love with her. He says yes to everything Dick says, which one of the questions being, would you adopt me, kind of thing. I'm sure meanwhile, while this is happening, by the way, we've already cut away to the Joker and his goons, where Joker's talking to Harley and expressing the fact that he isn't Batman's greatest villain. So she's like, what you should do is, go away for a while, prove that he needs you. And he's like, oh, that's really interesting. But however, back there, though, Commissioner Gordon gets up to, say goodbye to being Commissioner Gordon. And then they introduce the new commissioner. The new commissioner is Barbara Gordon. She gets a cool montage video of her learning at, what is it, FBI Harvard or Harvard?
The Harvard of Police School.
Harvard of Police. Yeah.
So funny.
So it's a montage of her doing shit, and then she comes out and she announces she's going to be, the commissioner, and then she lays out her plan of Batman Gordon. Isn't that great? Yeah, what do you got for Nick?
I was just gonna say when the Joker scene that's when he's watching Superman on screen about the Phantom Zone stuff, right?
Right. Yeah,
Superman's like, me and Zod, we go way back, man. We've had some
epic villains or battles.
I wouldn't be Superman without Zod.
He's like, see, he gets it. Yeah, great point. And so then Barbara gets up and lays out her plan that Batman's actually not that great. Like Batman's been doing this for how many decades? And Bruce Wayne, of course, hooting and hollering for Batman in the crowd. And we still have crime. We still have a lot of crime, actually. So she's doing this new plan, not to get rid of Batman, but to integrate Batman into being a police officer with them, kind of thing.
So with a little factor with the Batman stuff that's pretty cool is this is when Barbara was like, oh yeah, he's been doing it a long time, whatever. And they do another kind of quick montage of all the old moments. So in order of appearance here, we got the Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, Dark Knight, Batman the Animated Series, Batman the Dark Knight Returns Part 2, the animated version of it. There's a reference to that. Super Friends from 1973, Batman the Movie from 1966, Batman #9, Detective Comics #27, and then the Batman serials. The last two are notable for being the first comic of Batman and the first adaptation of the character into other media.
So her plan is to integrate Batman into being part of the GCPD. And Bruce Wayne's like, what? And he does the spit take joke twice there. One off camera, which I appreciated. And while they're laying all this out, Joker and the goons show up. Everybody's panicking or whatever. Batman or Bruce Wayne runs away. He jumps off the side. He puts on his cowl. He becomes Batman. I think he argues with Alfred here. He jumps onto a thing and does the master build thing. And that was the one I was like, oh, so this is like in the same universe as Lego universe. And this is watching it originally, obviously, or Lego movie. He does a master build to make this is when he makes the Scuttler, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so cool.
He jumps back to the roof with that. Barbara is like, hold on, and like he freeze, but then he jumps in, he's like freeze, and he cuts in front of Barbara, and she's like, oh, and they start bickering a little bit because obviously she wants them to work together. Batman's whole shtick is that he's going to work alone or whatever. And before he can really get going, Joker's like, I'm here, to take me in kind of thing, and lifts up his thing. Can you say that again? He says it exactly again and brings up his hands handcuffed. That was cute. He's like, yeah, I'm here to surrender. We all are. And everybody's like, are we? Is that what we're doing? And he puts them into a box behind them with a big bow on it for the GCPD. And so everybody starts celebrating because crime is solved now. There's no more crime in Gotham City.
Wait, is this the point where he punches Bane in the face for no reason? And Bane's like, that was unnecessary.
And so now everybody celebrates the fact that crime's over, and we get that amazing rendition of One is the Loneliest Number as Batman wanders around in black and white. He's in color as, Gotham City is safe and he's not needed, and everybody's super sad about it.
Yeah, they're like, we don't need you anymore. Oh, I know, there's still a lot of crime.
Yeah.
Super trying to fucking just battle with that whole idea. It's so good.
And so from there, it ends. The whole montage ends with him outside of Arkham, where he's trying to spy on the Joker and everybody else. They're just doing yoga inside, though. And then Barbara spots him from down there while they're doing the Phantom Zone, or I forget what it actually says, but it's Phantom Zone. What is it?
Phantom's Own.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And it's Harley getting all the stuff loaded up over there, all the laundry and shit. And she's like, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. And like they have a conversation again. He won't work with her, though, even though he says he will, kind of thing.
Who was Harley?
Not Jenny Slate.
Jenny Slate.
Was Jenny Slate? Yeah.
Yeah, I have the IMDb in front of me.
Who's the voice of Harley in the HBO Max show?
Katie Cuckoo or Coco or whatever.
Coco.
The girl from Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang, yeah.
Well, you could watch Harley Quinn on HBO Max in true 2020 fashion. The holidays are going to look a little different this year. That's why we partnered with HBO Max to keep the spirit of togetherness alive with their library of feel-good films for the holiday season. And we like to support all the different holidays here, just like Halloween. It was spooky. So to celebrate that, we watched the Conjuring movies, and we watched Annabelle Comes Home, which you can watch over on HBO Max. But if you want to get out of that season, get into the holiday Christmas season, HBO Max has many classic holiday films streaming like Holiday Affair and A Christmas Carol. A whole bunch of other cool stuff you can check out. Go to the link below, which is hbom.ax/kindafunnymorningshow to get cozy at home this holiday season with a whole bunch of cool stuff to watch. Check it out at hbomax.com right now. Next up, shout out to Honey. These days, it feels like online shopping is the only shopping that we're doing. That's why this sponsor, Honey, comes in. It's the free browser extension that scours the internet for promo codes and automatically tests them when you're checking out. It's fantastic stuff. It works on every website from a Best Buy all the way to an Etsy. I've been saving a ton of money over the years. Kind of funny, saved a ton of money over the years. If you're not using this, it's silly. Don't do that. It's so easy to install, and then you're just saving money. Here's how it works. You get Honey on your computer for free in 2 easy clicks. Then when you're checking out on one of its over 30,000 supported sites, Honey pops up, and all you have to do is click apply coupons, and then you're just saving the money. It does all the work for you. Honey has found its over 17 million members, over 2 billion in savings. Wow. It's this simple. If you have a computer, Honey should be on it. It's free and works with whatever browser you use. You can get Honey for free today at joinhoney.com/morning. That's joinhoney.com/morning, so they know that we sent you and that you are supporting this show. Joinhoney.com/morning. And finally, shout out to Manscaped. Here's the deal. A lot of us out there, we have balls. Those balls grow hair. That hair can cause smells. We got to get rid of that. We got to get rid of all of this stuff. It's bad business for everybody. Jingle balls to the walls, fellas. Listen up. Untrimmed pubes are a thing of the past, or at least they should be. It's time to gear up and get yourself the gift of shaving this holiday season. We're talking about the Manscaped Perfect Package 3.0. Nick, how many times have you been there and you nicked your balls?
It's me. I'm really old and arthritic. Yeah, it happens to me all the time. I'm a stupid moron.
It looks like he just got back from the
lots
gym.
of times, guys. Lots of times.
You should stop nicking your balls. You don't need to do that. That's what the Lawnmower 3.0 is here for. It has proprietary advanced skin-safe technology, so the trimmer cuts to make sure that you don't get anything cut that's not supposed to be. It's also waterproof, so you can use it in the shower. And don't use the same trimmer on your face as you use on your balls. That's just nasty. Get the Lawnmower 3.0. Get the Perfect Package 3.0 to make sure that you are looking good down there, just in case something happens. You never know. You never know. Get 20% off and free shipping with manscaped.com/morning. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com/morning. Clean up your nuts and make Santa proud this year. I just want to let everyone know that during that ad read, my Adobe PDF thing crashed. So I was I was freewheeling it.
You were freeballing.
Free balling for longer than I wanted to be. So,
Yeah, I mean that warrants a little bit of a higher score.
I'm gonna be honest.
Thank you.
That's weird. I gave him 9.2 last time.
Oh, really?
I gave you an 8. That was a really sneaky.
That was great.
I thought that was good. Tim, 9.8.
If that's an 8, I don't know
honestly,
what a 10 could be. So
that's the
I
thing.
appreciate you, Kev.
The only thing that could have made it more is if your tone had been a little bit sexier. But we'll leave that for next
See,
week.
the thing is, Kevin's dead on. You have to evoke emotion in me. And that one got me. I was like, I was a little surprised. I also want fear and horniness. Those are the two other emotions.
So tell me about it, because Nick,
You're gonna get
he
a 10.
through to you in the middle of the ad, and you weren't there. So that's what drew our attention that you were gone. But then I saw you come back and wrap a blanket around your waist.
Like an old man.
What's going on?
So here's the thing. I turned the heat on, and I'm very, very cold. And my wife was like, if you're so cold, why don't you do two things? One, take a blanket in there with you. And two, stop drinking ice cold Coke Zero. And I just refused to do that, Andy. I refused to do it. I literally got another one here with me. So we're gonna crack that off for the back 9 of this.
You're not going to weigh him down, Andy. He's going to do what he wants. All right.
Okay. All right.
I gotta get caffeinated up for our stream tomorrow, Andy.
Cap it up.
As the CEO of Common Sense, Andy, you can get out of here. Nobody wants your opinion on this.
I was gonna say though, Tim, that I want to be more surprised. And as soon as you ask a question like that, I know here it comes. Here
It's
comes.
coming.
This time it got me. This time it got me.
I feel like
Good.
out of all this group, this guy's got the big brain right here, and I'm pointing at my brain for audio listeners.
Also,
you are.
Tim, I would like to add that hair does not cause the smell. Just so you know.
It keeps the smell.
It
No.
locks in the smell.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't.
It locked in the smell.
It doesn't.
It does. You get the smell
100%
particles.
does.
Wetness, and then it
This is
dries, and it
the
gets
first time
stinky.
science with Kev's been wrong.
It's like bacteria. It's the
You ever get
alcohol and
bacteria on your
deodorants
hair?
that
It gets on the hair. It stays there. It lives
I
there.
know
It
what
takes up
Greg
residence.
said.
Can't kick it out.
I think he said, "Do you ever get gum in your hair?" And then went,
Only when I spit on
Andy, I
myself,
appreciate because I heard you see where I was going with it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you saw it coming. I get it, but it's hard because we have to. It's more of a team effort than you'd expect. You know what I mean? Like you don't see people out there judging just Michael Jordan, right, for what he's doing. Like sure they give him credit for things.
Yeah, but I
it's
think-
just like they have to give the whole team credit too.
But I think
Another
you're
ad?
playing.
No, there's not. I'm just saying. It's
I
just
think
like
you're
you
playing
guys.
golf,
You guys
though.
need to pass me the ball sometimes. All right. All right. Help me get that 10.
No,
I'll pass the ball.
Here's the thing: is you're the point guard. All right, you need to be the floor manager out there. You need to be calling the things. You
Floor
need to
general.
be, you know what I mean. That's what it's got to be. You got Kevin down there in the paint. You need to move him around.
Move
I
him
don't know
around.
what the pain is.
I'm just saying, Eddie. Like I have to ask the questions. I have to telegraph it because otherwise it ain't happening.
We don't. Yeah, otherwise we'll talk.
Again,
over you and we'll say
I'm
that
pretty
ball
sure
hurt.
you're the guy. Like this is more like a golf range situation. We're just playing golf around you, and every once in a while you're like hole in one, and it's like that. You know,
I think all of our sports
Have you
metaphors
ever
been
played
abysmal.
golf?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, hole in one.
Continue the story. Yeah, continue the plot. Because Kevin.
All right, so crime's eradicated. They're not working well. Batman goes back home and he's moping around about it. And, Alfred's like, oh, let people in kind of shit. And he's like, also spend time with your son. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, you adopted a kid last night at this thing. He's been running around and he's great. And there's the footage of Dick Grayson running around the cave saying hello to everything, including the secret camera, which is very cute. But eventually he's like, Batman's like, no, there's no way I'm going to fucking do that. And he's like, okay, oops. And he hits the button to open up the Batcave poles. And then, Dick Grayson slides on down that pole and he comes on it. And he's like, wait a second. You're telling me Batman is Bruce Wayne's roommate? he's like, no, Bruce Wayne lives in, my attic, not me in the basement. And so there's this idea there. He then sets up this idea of that, they're going to be co-parented. They'll both be his dad or whatever. This is spurred by the fact that Batman sees him as a tool because he has this idea that he's going to send Joker to the Phantom Zone just to get rid of him. That way that, everybody will understand that Barbara's plan doesn't work. And so he needs to go to the Fortress of Solitude, Superman's Arctic hideout, to get the Phantom Zone projector to put Joker in there. However, when they start running the numbers and things, of course, a human man couldn't fit in there. Only a human boy could. At which point he's like, I can use Dick Grayson for this. So Dick, of course, super excited to do it. This is when they introduce the two dads thing so that he can get permission from Batman, his other dad, to do it. This is when they go through the costumes to find him something. They go to Reggae Man or whatever and find he puts it on and has the Robin costume. It's very cute. Tears off his pants. Very cute. And then it's like, okay, let's go to the Fortress of Solitude. So they hop in the bat plane. They shoot over there. Yep.
Oh, I was gonna say I love this moment because there's just a touch of the Superman soundtrack.
Sure. Oh yeah, they use the Arctic sound when they land. Yeah, it's great. And it's the Fortress of Solitude from it.
Yeah, it's so good.
Dick, of course, sneaks in through a vent above the door. Batman rings the doorbell, which is the Superman theme. Superman opens it up and he's like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? Batman comes in. Turns out there's a Justice League party happening. Yeah, there's a Justice League party there it's the annual Justice League party.
A party.
They didn't invite Batman. There's a whole thing about emails getting lost and people just start boogieing him down or whatever. Nobody gives a flying fuck about Batman being there. Meanwhile, Dick Grayson is, infiltrating to get the Phantom Zone projector. He follows Batman's instructions to the letter. He gets in there and he's like, all right, I got it. All right, do everything I just told you in reverse. He gets out. Batman's like, I'll make up an excuse to leave. I'm going to go. And he just goes and nobody cares. So they have the Phantom Zone projector now. They're going to take it over to Arkham because they're going to, get rid of the Joker or whatever. They go there, get in trouble with the guard. Yeah, they come in. It's very reminiscent of the Arkham Asylum opening, the video game, of them going through the detector and all that jazz as they come in. But they, come into Arkham. Batman's got a whole bunch of different weapons on him that he puts down on the table. While that's happening, Robin tries to sneak in, but they notice the Phantom Zone projector. They all start fighting. Batman tells Robin that these are his friends who are like, they're down to spar basically. So go ahead and fight them. They all fight them off. They make their way into Arkham. They make their way over to Joker's cell. Everything's getting closed, but Batman throws a batarang to keep it open. Joker's like, oh, seems like I am a big deal that you brought me here, that, you're ready to, do all this stuff to put me away or to send me the Phantom Zone. I guess I'm your greatest enemy. Batman's like, you're not my greatest enemy. He zaps Joker away. Joker goes to the Phantom Zone where Kimmy Schmidt is the robot welcoming to the Phantom Zone. She's like, explaining what's going on here. All the other bad guys show up. We got the Gremlins. We got Voldemort. We got King Kong. We got the sea monster. They all show up. Like, they're going to eat him. He's like, wait, I got a way to get us out of here. And before he can even really lay out the plan, Voldemort's like, we're in. You're like, let me guess. You're going after the hero that you don't like or whatever, like that doesn't respect you. We're in. We'll come do this with you. And he's like, great. That's awesome. Meanwhile, back at Gotham, they'd put Batman and Robin into Arkham Asylum, lock them down because, of course, like, you're bad guys. You're doing bad things here. You just broke them out. You broke all the rules. You broke all the laws. You're not listening to us. You get to stay here or whatever. Batman and Robin beatbox a little bit. They're in there. I'm sure they say something else too, but that's the main thing of what they're doing there. And they're doing just doing hard time.
Nick, the beatboxing stuff.
It's great.
it's the most great. Nick and Matt Scarpino humor.
It's great because you could tell they spent as little time as possible developing it with Will Arnett. Basically, they were just like, "Will, just go ahead and go," and he was like, "Okay, cool." It's so great.
I don't know where it is. At some point, there's like a brief rap song that plays. I don't remember if it was someone's ringtone or it was somewhere around the scene. Anyway, it's a little dicky.
Oh, was it?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
So they're locked up for all like 2 minutes, and then Joker comes back with all the bad guys, and they're pouring out of the ceiling. You got Sauron there, and you got all the other bad flying monkeys. You got the Wicked Witch. They're introducing everybody. Like I said earlier, shout out to the joke line about the Doctor Who robots. Just like British robots. Talk to your nerd friends.
Yeah.
Barbara shows up. She's like, "You were right, Batman. Like we do need you. The city needs you." She lets them out, but only on the condition that they work together. So Barbara, Batman, Robin, and Alfred all team up to try to stop this.
All I'm saying is like Ray Fiennes voiced Alfred, right?
Huh?
I mean, come on. I was available. I could do my Michael Caine impersonation. Clearly,
this is a different interpretation. They didn't lean it. This isn't really the Michael Caine version of it, you know.
But Bane is pretty much
Yes, brother.
It's
I
pretty
feel
much what's his face. Yeah,
I feel like that's Bane in everything, in every version of Bane since then. It's been that.
Oh,
and it's
since The Dark Knight Rises,
and it's been like that, but like everyone picks on him is the joke, and I fucking dig it
because
I dig it real
such
good.
a bad voice.
yeah. I think like just it's such an easy way to get laughs. There's such easy laughs and such easy jokes, just like Tim said, like the low hanging fruit stuff. But just telling Bane to say whatever in the Bane voice, I think it just works so perfectly in this movie to sort of humanize him and ground him and make him have just normal human being lines. I think it's so easy to make, but it works so well every time. I love it.
And there's also just the meta commentary on the fact that everyone's been making fun of that voice for so long in real life that he's just sort of beat down by it. And now it's just has a complex about it in the movie.
So the funny thing there is it's Doug Benson,
Yeah.
the comedian, who he had a long running thing where he would do Bane impressions and Bane jokes. And the directors like reached out to him particularly to like have him voice Bane in this because of that.
That's awesome. That's
so
really
it's
cool.
like one day, Andy, maybe you will be Michael Caine.
Wow.
I failed you, Mr. White. I failed
You have to cry when you do it because you're smiling.
But like
There it is.
There it is. You're crushing it.
he was good at it though, right? Like just to be clear.
Well, I mean, I'm almost like I'm getting there. Like,
Oh no,
Well,
Andy's 90% of the way
me
there.
right here.
I feel like you could take one of Sir Michael Caine's Academy Awards away and just give it to Andy right now. Just let him have it as a placeholder.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great opinions.
That sounds about right. Does he have a lot of Academy Awards?
I'm about
I
to
don't know.
Google it.
I don't know. I went out on a limb on that.
Yeah,
one,
I'm
but
gonna.
I don't
I was
know.
gonna
Ask
look for
me.
it too.
I was really hoping we just move on and no one would ever.
He probably
He's
has
won two.
Oh,
He's
okay.
won two.
He's
He's
won.
won
John's
Best
three and
Supporting Actor for The Cider House Rules and Best Supporting Actor for Hannah and Her Sisters. He was nominated for 4 others.
God, Nick is too gods. It's crazy.
You got to just take chances, Andy. Come on, we're making
Just throw
content.
shit out
Swing
there
the
without
bat,
any
Andy. Swing the bat.
without any basis.
Hole in one.
So all 4 of them are out there. They're working together to stop all these monsters that are going on. Joker took over Wayne Manor at some point too. I left that out, I think. And Batman goes. They still know he's Bruce Wayne. Though. I forget what the explanation was for them. They go over there. They fight a bunch of people. They fight a bunch of people all over the place. And they're just fighting people left and right. They're flying around fighting people. Voldemort's doing stuff. People are fighting. A lot of fights. I think this is where they're going on the Batwing ride, and this is like why'd you only put 1 seat in this? Only got 1 butt, and then I did not like that joke at all.
It right then.
It's so fucking funny. What are you talking about? How can you not like that?
But I think this is a good scene because she was like, Barbara's like, I can fly the plane. He's like, nope, rope's got it, and he puts the rope on it.
Yeah.
Like, good job. Rope.
However, of course, Rope doesn't have it. They're on top of the thing fighting Alfred. Alfred and Robin are about to fall. Batman saves Robin, then Alfred falls, and it looks like he's going to die. But Barbara takes over the bat plane and flies on down there, grabbing Alfred at the last possible second, saving him. Hey, yay. They all land. They're all excited to have beaten a whole bunch of the bad guys and done all this different stuff. At which point, Robin takes a selfie with all of them, and then Batman smiles. He's having fun. He's actually enjoying being part of a team. Then he looks at the photo and realizes, of course, that this is the same photo he has on the wall of his dead parents. So right there, he cuts it all off, gets the scuttler or whatever it is to eat all of them, put them inside, take them to a safe place. He's gonna go finish this on his own. They're like, you can't do this on your own. You're stupid. He's like, that thing goes off. He goes off to do his own thing. He runs into the Joker and all the bad guys there. They eventually get the upper hand on him. They send him to the Phantom Zone. He lands in the Phantom Zone. Kimmy Schmidt shows up to scan him to see all his bad stuff. And this is fun because she scans him and she's like, "You're not a traditional bad guy, but you do bad things. You dress in black and the voice. You're a bad guy." It's like, "No, I'm not." They scan through all the things, and it's mainly him being mean to his friends, right? Not listening to them, wanting to put Dick Grayson in trouble, being mean to Alfred. And he's like, "What would you know about raising a surrogate son?" And he's like, "Oh, fuck, man, I am bad." You know what I mean? And then he looks around there and he's like, "Listen, if you can send me back, I can get all the criminals back in here. I can get all the bad guys back in the Phantom Zone so you don't get in trouble with your boss by midnight or whatever it is." And she's like, "Even you?" He's like, "Even me," or whatever. It's like, "I'll get everybody back. You have my word." So she sends him back. He saves Barbara at some point or whatever. She's not thrilled to see him. They just got screwed over by him, but then he admits that yes, he does need them. He does, he's afraid. He had said earlier, of course, Batman isn't afraid. He says he is afraid, of course, of having a family and losing them kind of again. And it's this heartwarming moment where they then go out as a unified team to kick the shit out of all these guys. Also, Joker has an army. What are we gonna have? They let all the rogues gallery out of Arkham to work with them because, of course, if there's nothing, then there's nothing for them either. And Joker said me. I think it's Bane maybe who even says Joker said mean things about us. Like one of the guys is just like Joker was mean to us, so we're gonna fight too.
And that's exactly one of those. That's exactly one of those lines. Like just have Bane say anything normal, and it's like it's made so to be funny because it's Bane.
But it's also like he's this huge guy that's constantly being like everyone's just mean to him.
Yeah.
So anytime he's like complaining, like, "Well, I was just giving my idea."
Yeah.
Like, all right.
When they were leaving Arkham, they had the idea of like everyone's like, "Wait, let us out, we can help you." And Batman has that one line where he's like, "What a movie about a bunch of bad guys being like getting together to do some good? What a stupid idea!"
Yeah,
that's a subtle dig on Suicide Squad, right?
I really like the different the bat symbols in the sky.
Yeah,
that might be later. It might be around here. I don't remember.
No, it's right here. It's when they unify again.
I enjoyed that. It's like that. Like to me, like that's the level of what this movie is, and it's just like it's the good chuckle.
And I like, this is where we get the introduction of the Batgirl suit and Nightwing for Robin and all that jazz. They put on all their different suits, or maybe that was earlier actually for Robin and Alfred putting on the 66 suit. Doesn't matter. They all go off and they all go to fight everybody and stop it. But guess what? They can't stop it. The explosion goes off. It fractures Gotham. It all starts tearing apart. Batman gets the idea of if we all work together and take off and expose our Lego heads and put it together, we can basically be like a giant rope, like a stitch across the way. So all the heroes do that and start going, but it's not far enough. But on the other side of the chasm is the Joker, and Batman finally, opens up to the Joker that yes, he hates him and needs him or whatever, and like this is, we're going to do this forever kind of thing. And so Joker, of course, does the Jerry Maguire thing of you had me at shut up, and all the villains on his side go together, they connect. Batman projects his voice to all of Gotham, all of them go and connect, and they are able to fix the fracture in Gotham to reunite the two halves and make it happen.
Which I think is awesome. This is like an example to me of this being Lego enough of like actually using the Lego property to how it should be used, where all of us that have played with Legos have done that with the Lego characters of putting each minifig on top of each other. I think that was the plot point here.
The very sort of Family Guy comedic beat of just one frame of
Yeah, I love it. I
love stupid shit like that. I think it worked really well.
Well done.
So they're celebrating. Everybody's gone back to the Phantom Zone. They were doing that as they went. Sorry, when they were fighting everybody. We get a moment here where Batman takes off his cowl, reveals that he is Bruce Wayne to Robin. That's very sweet. You two dads or whatever. And then he's like, I gotta go now, though. I gotta go back to the Phantom Zone. I gave my word or whatever. So. He says his goodbyes to everybody. He levitates up there to where it should be, but then he bonks it and falls back down. And Kimmy Schmidt shows up to be like, listen, like you've gone above and beyond to show you're a good guy here. You've learned something, everything's great. And then we get a cool montage.
Everything is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. We get a cool montage of the Bat family now racing back home. Everybody saying Iron Man sucks. Everybody having lobster thermidor. Everybody watching Jerry Maguire. Everybody having a great time. And then the credit montage of them all dancing around and singing together in the white outfits.
And the stupid line of the at the beginning we get the reference, the sort of breaking of the fourth wall, like dark ominous music that scares executives and producers or whatever. And at the end we get like the poppy song. He's like, I play the poppy song that executives and producers love, you know. Like I just love that stupid shit. It's like, oh, the families will love this. This is very a safe call to have a little poppy song at the end. And it's a song, is this the Lil Dicky song, or Lil Dicky's was at the beginning?
Lil Dicky just had like a quick 10-second thing.
Oh, okay.
At some point. I can't remember at what point. It was in the cells. It was around the jail cell stuff. But this was Will Arnett rapping.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Clearly.
That's right.
And there you go. That's it. The Lego Batman movie. We didn't go for it.
You need 5 for the first and last line. If you're not poetic, no need to fret it. Haikus don't need to rhyme. Haiku in review. Haiku in review.
Blackjack writes into patreon.com/kindafunny to write his review in haiku form, just like you can. And he says, Batman with no crime. Ensuing humor. Sublime. It's Bat family time.
Oh, that's a good one.
Tensa Zangatsu Man. Best Batman movie. Has the best Batman on screen. And on-screen Robin. Andrew Feisner says, Darkness. Have no friends. See the value in others. Duo. Not alone. That one seems really deep.
That does seem deep.
Like that seems like a real
deep.
ass haiku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grant Burton says Batman is a toy and Robin is just a boy. This film brings me joy.
Hey, that's cute.
And Zayd Wilson says Jason is like 5, and there's already Joker. So who's the Red Hood? We'll have to stay tuned for the Lego Batman movie 2 that got announced, but then it's probably never actually going to happen because the rights of Lego switched to Universal or someone else.
Wait, really?
Yeah. So yeah. So we'll see how that goes.
What the hell? That stinks, dude.
I was going to say earlier that I before you started doing the haiku and review thing, we didn't do Secret Delights.
Secret Delight.
Batman returns to the Dark Knight. It's Gotham's finest secret delight.
I just think it's the villains from the other movies showing up. I didn't expect that.
The Gremlins, I
It
thought
was
it
a
was so
secret
fun.
delight
Yeah.
for me.
To me, the secret delight is Michael Cera in this. He just brings a smile to my face every time he does anything. And I know that's a thin line for a lot of people, but when he rips off when he walks out and he still has the pants on, he's like, "Well, I guess you're still wearing." And he goes, "Nope," and he rips him off. Like, God, that's so funny. God,
I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I was delighted by a lot of this,
sparkly
and I don't know why. I needed this movie last night. I needed this sort of pick me up, and it was just it just gave me. I was chuckling for an hour and a half, and like Tim said, it did sort of end quicker than I thought it would. I know Greg was kind of like, oh, the movie felt like it dragged on, but for me, I'd say the secret delight was the runtime where I had that moment just like Greg did, but felt the opposite, where I paused it. I was like, oh, there's 15 minutes left. Oh, shit. And I will say the runtime was my secret delight.
There you go. So now it's time to rank the theatrically released Batman movies. Kev, do you have the image prepped? Thank you very much. Number 1, The Dark Knight. Number 2, Batman Begins. Number 3, The Dark Knight Rises. Number 4, Batman 89. Number 5, Mask of the Phantasm. Number 6, Batman Returns. Number 7, Batman Forever. Number 8, Batman and Robin. Number 9, Batman 66. And number 12, Catwoman.
I mean, can I start this off?
Start it off, Nick. Start it off.
I'm gonna throw this out there, just a starting bid for everyone, right above Mask of the Phantasm.
I'd put it below Mask of the Phantasm.
I go above Dark Knight Rises.
Wow.
Wow.
I tend to. I want to side with Nick here. It's so tough to say because obviously 89 is trying to do more as a Batman movie, right? 89 is trying to be a Batman movie and try to have more substance while still kind of pulling off the cheesiness of a lot of the other Batman movies that we've seen. I cannot put it over Dark Knight Rises, though. Oh, man, I'm stuck here.
Wait, over the Mask of the Phantasm? I thought that was such a, cool.
No, Mask of Phantasm, I think when we reviewed it, I think me and Greg felt similarly about Mask of Phantasm, where we remember it being a much better movie than when we actually saw it. It was always this movie that I thought growing up as a kid, that was like the gold standard for Batman animated stuff. And upon rewatching it, just thought, I don't know, just kind of underwhelming.
So now let's do the vote. Let's start at number 6. Who thinks it's better than Batman Returns? Raise your hand. Oh wait, Greg thinks it's even lower than that. Hold on.
Greg's
So
stonewalling.
Greg, where would you put it?
I would put it at number 9, below Batman and Robin, above Batman 66.
Wow.
You'd
Batman
rather watch
66
Batman and
and
Robin again.
Yes, Batman 66 and Lego Batman were both the only ones where I was like, oof, all right, is this gonna go? Are we gonna can we keep going? Can we get out of this? Is this gonna end? I'd like to get back to playing games. Batman and Robin is what you guys argued with when you actually wanted to put it higher, I think, on the list of just like it's entertaining. It's not good. But it's like there's a lot of colors, there's a lot of crazy action, a lot of what the fuck is going on. Like I was more engaged for Batman and Robin than I was Lego Batman for sure.
Who thinks it's better than Batman and Robin? Raise your hand. All of us except Greg. Who thinks it's better than Batman Forever? Raise your hand. All of us except Greg. Who thinks it's better than Batman Returns? All of us except Greg. Who thinks it's better than Mask of the Phantasm? Me, Andy, and Nick. Who thinks it's better than Batman 89? Just me and Andy. That means that it falls at number 6, right in between Mask of the Phantasm and
5.
Batman Returns.
You did that wrong.
5.
It's
Wait, where
between
is it?
89 and Mask of the Phantasm.
Yep, sorry, I wrote it down in the right
It's okay.
place.
It's okay.
Okay, mijo.
So number 1, Dark Knight. Number 2, Batman Begins. Number 3, The Dark Knight Rises. Number 4, Batman 89. Number 5, Lego Batman. Number 6, Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Number 7, Batman Returns. Number 8, Batman Forever. Number 9, Batman and Robin. Number 10, Batman 66. And number 12, Catwoman. Next week,
Andy hit the song.
Tweedly-dee-dee-dee.
No, do we not want to? Is there not a Ragu Bagu? Is there not? I thought we still did Ragu Bagu on this show, but
Oh, yeah,
apparently
let's do
the
it.
Earth's been salted over for every podcast within a podcast.
We didn't do it last week either.
That was an accident.
Yeah, that was
Right?
an
Last
accident.
week was on me. Remember, I had to get out of here for some shoot or something.
Ragu.
Bagu.
What's
Greg,
up,
I have
everybody? Welcome
one
to
job
Rad
on
Guys
this
Talk
show. I have
Bad
one
Guys.
job on this show. Do not try to do my job, okay?
Everything's off the rails, Nick. You don't even know what's happening. This is Rad Guys Talk Bad Guys, the podcast within the podcast where we rank the villains of the Batman cinematic universe. I'm one of your hosts, Greg. That's Andy. That's Nick. That's Kevin. That's Tim Gettys. So we have a 2 for today. We need to rank Bane. And I guess Catwoman, or if you want to put her in there, however you want to do that.
No, she wasn't the bad guy.
Yeah, what do you? So who is? So Dark Knight Rises. We need to rank Bane, and we need to.
Talia.
Okay, and then we need to do Joker from Lego Batman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joker
So we're
and,
agreeing he's the.
and all the other villains.
Right now, the Ragu Bagu list looks like this. Number 1 is Dark Knight, Joker, and Two-Face. Number 2 is 89 Batman, Joker. Number 3 is Roz and Scarecrow from Begins. Number 4 is Mask of the Phantasm, Joker, and the Phantasm. Number 5 is Batman Returns, Max, Penguin, and Cat. Number 6 is Batman and Robin. Number 7 is Batman Forever, Riddler, Two-Face. Number 8 is 66, Catwoman, Riddler, Joker, Penguin. Let's start with Dark Knight Rises. Where do you want to put Bane?
What was number 4 again?
Phantasm. Joker Phantasm.
Above 4 is where I would put it.
Okay.
I agree.
I agree with that too.
Excellent.
I like it.
Fantastic.
I like
Yeah,
it.
me
Easy.
too.
Okay.
Concurrent.
Okay, good.
Yeah, good.
That's easy. All right. So there you go. Number 4 making an appearance. Bane, which is autocorrect to Babe. So now we'll be Babe when I read it.
Love it.
From Rises. Where do we want to
Dumb
put
rule.
Joker from Lego Movie?
Peter decide. See, I don't think he's that great of an antagonist in this.
No,
I think
yeah.
he works as sort of a sounding board for Batman, so he can go pretty low. And actually, this was one of the only disappointments I had with this was shout out to the whole voice cast, but the guy that played Joker was Zach Galifianakis, and I think he just played it straight the entire time. Like, there's never really I mean, with the exception of the intro scene and like a little bit of pepper in there, but he kind of just is even keel Zach Galifianakis. And at one point, I was expecting him to go a little bit more like Lone Wolf Hangover, but he never really did.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Nick. I was pretty underwhelmed and like usually enjoying much of what Zach Galifianakis does. It just didn't really feel like Joker. Like, he looked like Joker, but it didn't.
Yeah,
there wasn't much else there aside from the whole "I am your number one villain." What are you talking about? Like, he leaned into that side of Joker and sort of that sort of fan service side of it, but he never really got zany or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I agree. Joker was my least favorite part of this movie. So
wait, what's the
I
bottom?
enjoyed all the other villains though. Like, I enjoyed that it wasn't just Joker. Like, it was just as much about like all the Batman villains and all the other movie villains and stuff.
Yeah, but I feel like all the Batman villains, we only really saw Bane, or like Bane was the only one that had memorable moments. And then for the other guys,
I don't know, like,
they're all
because this is a
peppered in.
comedy movie, and I think that they play like everyone filled their role of having a funny joke, having a funny like punchline.
yeah,
about
but like
them.
none of the Penguins jokes were good, you know? Because there were a couple Penguins jokes, but I remember just being like, all right, the Penguin sucks.
Just real quick, I want to point out the moment where Batman keeps on putting where the penguins
That's
are putting
funny.
poison ivy to kiss them. I laugh every time. It was just like one phrase. It's so stupid.
So, Greg, can you tell me who's number 5 right now?
Number 5 is Phantasm. Number 6 is Batman Returns. Number 7 is Batman and Robin. Number 8 is Batman Forever. Number 9 is 66.
I think it's above Batman Returns.
I would put it
Personally.
below Batman Forever.
Yeah, that's where I would go
Me
too.
too.
I'd go below Returns, but
That sounds right.
there you go. It sounds like below Forever.
All right, there you go. Number 9 then is where Lego Batman's Joker goes.
How about that?
Next week, we are closing out reviewing the movies of Batman theatrically released movies with the Joker. Then after that, we will be doing a Batman in review episode where we go through our own personal lists and also all of the different podcasts within a podcast to make some definitive statements to get it out there for all the people that care.
And maybe I'll have a Gonzo for Gordo shirt done by that time.
Whoa!
You never know.
No way.
Although I kind of want to save it for like our big January thing that
It's
we usually
not
do.
gonna do well.
I mean, I think enough people.
Dude, if
will
you
buy
want to
it
make
just
it
because it's
make it
stupid.
the mailer for next month.
Okay. I'll think about
And this week, everybody get hyped. Thursday, we are reviewing
Wait, this Thursday?
the New Mutants.
Oh yeah.
Closing out the XCU.
Oh, I'm actually really
Morph.
excited.
Morph.
Really excited about this.
I'm
Yeah.
scared. It's a scary
It's happening.
movie.
It's happening. Yeah.
Andy, you're gonna have to go to Coachella again or whatever and not watch it like you did all throughout The Conjuring. You coward.
If you guys, let me know in the comments, please go to the YouTube comments if you would buy a Gonzo for Gordo shirt. Put
Dude,
in the comments, I will
it's
buy a
free.
Gonzo for
It's
Gordo
free to
shirt.
put a comment down saying that they would buy it, just to
Yeah.
let
Is
you
it
know.
just Andy in your brain? Is it just Gonzo from the Muppets with the Gordon mustache?
Yeah, we talked.
I don't
about,
think we can legally
do.
do that.
Yeah, we
I
can.
mean, well, not
Okay.
through Rooster Teeth.
If we
have
put it
other-
behind Patreon, we can break any law we want.
And with that, until next time.
say bad time, say bad channel.